This might be the best Thursday night football game of the year as the 9-3 Green Bay Packers travel to Detroit to take on the 11-1 Lions in a divisional showdown. And I have two player props in this game that's going to make it even more enjoyable than it already is. Really appreciate all the support from our last video from Monday Night Football, where we hit Jameis Winston over 34 and a half passing attempts. The man we love so much, Jameis Winston, had 31 attempts at halftime and then finished the game with almost 60. So if you've been enjoying these breakdowns, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section below what you're on for this epic Thursday night football game. And if you're just stumbling onto this page for the first time, welcome. My name is Peter Appel, and I started this channel this season, and this is the home for all of my NFL picks, free moving forward. So if you're into that sort of thing, I'm also going for my fourth straight profitable season. So make sure, hit the subscribe button, definitely hit the like button before we get started. And of course, let me know in the comment section below what you think of my picks and my analysis, and of course, what you're on for this game. And a reminder that this channel is sponsored by BetMGM. It is the perfect time to use promo code JustGridiron for a first bet offer up to $1,500. Deposit at least just $10. And if you lose your first wager on BetMGM after using promo code JustGridiron, you'll get it all back up to $1,500 in bonus bets. However, gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply. Two props in this video, and we're going to start with Jordan Love because it's a similar handicap to the bet that we cashed with Jameis Winston over 34 and a half passing attempts, and that was really easy. The few teams that rank towards the bottom of passing attempts kind of follow a similar pattern. The Broncos, who, again, we faded with Jameis Winston last week, in passing attempts, they rank 27th because they have a very good offense that forces you to keep up, but it's combined with a stout run defenses that makes it difficult to catch up by just running the football. And now the Lions, they fit this mold to a T, and they actually rank a spot below the Broncos. They rank 28th in passing attempts against in the NFL this season. They also have a better run defense this year by EPA than Denver does, and are coming off a game where they held DeAndre Swift to just 39 yards on 11 carries, and they did the same thing to Jonathan Taylor, limiting him to just 35 yards on 11 carries. Now, the Lions' injuries on defenses are definitely piling up, but even over the last 4 weeks, they rank 7th in rushing EPA, one spot above the Denver Broncos. Now, Josh Jacobs is an exceptional running back, but he was dealing with a little bit of a calf injury this week that kept him out of practice, but he will play. And the Packers have won 3 games in a row by relying on the ground game more than Jordan Love's arm. Jacobs had 95 yards against this Lions team, and with Love's inconsistency, I believe that the Lions are going to make stopping Jacobs the number one priority in this game, and they have the run defense in order to make those stops, which I think will lend us to a pass-heavier game script for Green Bay in this one. The Lions have proven that almost nobody can stop their offense at home. So Love, I believe, is going to have to keep up using his arm. Even though he's been under this passing attempts line in 3 straight games, I believe we will see the pendulum swing where he's slinging the rock more than usual. Because when Jordan Love faces the Lions, tends to go over this line. He's been over 32 and a half passing attempts in 2 of 3 games against the Lions in his career, and had 39 passing attempts when they played just a month ago. If we look at the last 3 games where he went under this line, it was 2 blowouts, with the Packers being on the winning side, and then he threw for 261 yards, but just on 17 attempts against this Bears team. But in general, that was a strange game where the Bears completely dominated time of possession. Of course, he could go under here, but normally when he's been under, the game script hasn't really allowed him to do so. And when we're talking about game script, what we do know is that in games where against the Lions, where it's been decided by 14 points or less, Lions games generally somewhat close, quarterbacks have exceeded 32 and a half passing attempts in 6 of those 8 games. As you can see, the only game where it went under was week 2, where Baker Mayfield 12 for 19, and the Bucs won that game. And in week 6, Sam Darnold extremely efficient, 22 for 27. But in every other game, they've gone over this line. Now, Jordan Love has exceeded 32 and a half passing attempts in 4 of his last 5 games versus bottom 10 defenses for passing attempts against, averaging 37.4 passing attempts per game on average. It makes sense. These types of matchups with stout run defenses, forcing Jordan Love to throw, slings the football plenty of times. Now, his median line this season is just 30 passing attempts per game. So the books know that this is a great matchup for Love in terms of going over passing attempts. But in a matchup like this, indoors against the Lions offense, I don't think it's high enough. I project 36 passing attempts for Love in this game. So give me Jordan Love over 32 and a half passing attempts at minus 120 on BetMGM to win 1 unit. And I would play this up to 34 and a half passing attempts if this line were to move by the time you're watching this video. Now, for our second player prop, we're going to stick on the quarterback. We'll move to the other quarterback in this game, Jared Goff. We're also backing him to throw the football in this one, but with how efficient Jared Goff has been this season, I think passing yards is the way to go here. The first time the Lions played the Packers, Goff only had 145 yards. Not great. It was a weird game. Lions got an early lead. Love threw a pick six, which then just gives the ball right back to Green Bay. Lions had a 24-3 lead by the third quarter, and then they just ran the ball out. The game was never really in doubt. Goff had only 4 incompletions, but due to game script, he just didn't have to throw that much. But quarterbacks against the Green Bay Packers have been over 250 passing yards in 7 of the 12 Packers games this season. They rank 24th in passing completion percentage against and 17th in passing yards. This fits Goff's typical plan. Make high percentage throws to your weapons and let them tally up those yards after the catch. So I wanted to kind of go with the completions in this game, but it's a really high line at 22 and a half. A line he's only been over in 3 of 12 games so far this season. But when he's thrown at least 22 completions, right? He doesn't have to go over 22 and a half, 22 or more. He's been over 250 passing yards every single time. And now Goff had an 81% completion percentage against Green Bay in the game that he went under this line. Now at home, Goff has been an absolute machine when it comes to passing yards. We know this. Beginning of the season, Lions over 10 and a half wins, cash last week, Lions to win the division, Lions best record, because Jared Goff and this Lions defense becomes so unstoppable at home, and we got him at home. In 2023 home games, which includes the playoffs, he was over this line in 7 of 10, averaging 280.4 passing yards per game. Last year in Detroit against Green Bay, Goff threw for over 320 passing yards. But in 2024 home games, he's only been over this in 3 of 6. In the first game of the season, he went under against the Rams, right? Chalk that up as a loser. He only threw 85 yards in a game they won by 1,000,000 against the Titans. And then he went under in his last game on Thanksgiving against the Bears, which I think is giving us a little bit of value into his passing yards for this game. So in general, Jared Goff has been over 250 and a half passing yards in 13 of his last 19 home games in Detroit, and now faces a defense that ranks 24th in completion percentage allowed. And Jared Goff has the second highest completion percentage in the league. Tua Tagovailoa has the highest completion percentage in the league, and he threw for 338 passing yards against the Packers in the cold last week. A fair line for Goff, I think, should be closer to 260. So at 250 and a half at minus 115, I laid 1.15 units to win 1 unit on Jared Goff over passing yards. So if you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to press the like button and subscribe for more NFL picks, as my Sunday video for week 14 will be out here soon. So turn on post notifications so you get on these lines early. And of course, in the comment section below, let me know what you think of my picks, if you found any areas that you don't like, or if you're planning on making some other picks for this epic game. I cannot wait. But let's watch a passing masterclass on this Thursday night football game and go 2-0. Why not us?